virtual queue. The problem is you have 6 guys all standing around. They're all getting product for one person. So even though you're only allowed 3 items, it's all going into one cart anyway. So scalpers still find a way.
Every time I go to Target, the Pokemon section looks like this. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. Is it too much to ask to get a single freaking booster pack? I don't even want the boxes. I just want a pack. Scalpers can suck my Pokeballs.
Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share this video. Make sure you go up to notifications, hit that notification bell, and hit all, because you want to make sure you get all of our notifications, because most people say we don't get all of it. But if you hit that all, you should be able to get all of it. And also do, from time to time, check to make sure you're still subscribed, because people get unsubscribed from YouTube. Unfortunately, that's what's been happening. Even myself, I've been unsubscribed from several different sites that are current, and this has nothing to do with that they're not putting out programming. They're putting out programming even more than me, and people are still getting unsubscribed like myself. So we've had the situation, and we've heard this many times before, especially during the holidays, and we've heard this situation with collectors and what's been going on in eBay. Scalpers have been a major thorn in how we buy our products now. And, we've had this go through with Sony and with Microsoft with their game consoles. We've heard the situations with the Pokemon, where Pokemon cards are getting emptied out at Target and Walmart and all these places. And a lot of them have been doing the best they can, but they could do better. Of situations where, to the point where, there's got to be a way of stopping them, and some of them have tried. Some of them have limited, but scalpers have gotten around it, and you've seen the videos, and you know that this is happening. Now, over the summer, in the last month of the summer, August, while we were off, this story came out. And it's interesting that this came out when they were talking more about Pokemon that's on there. And we've got to thank Otaku USA Magazine for this. How Japanese stores are turning unique ways to stop scalpers. And we'll read into this a little bit. Otaku love getting great merchandise from their favorite franchise, but there's an issue of scalpers buying out rare items and then charging ridiculous prices to fans. Some stores in Japan are turning in unique ways to make sure the fans get their merchandise, and scalpers can't get away with these schemes. First up is the toy store Mickey, located in Nagayoro. On Twitter, they shared a new exclusive Gundam model along with their plans to foil scalpers. The translation of the sign says, to purchasers of plastic models, as a countermeasure against resellers for certain Gundam models and low inventory items at the time of purchase, the staff will open the interior part partials and cut away a portion of the plastic runners. We thank you for your understanding and cooperation. These Gundam models are put together by the people who buy them, and the runners are the plastic that lie around the parts to keep them together. You need to cut them away anyway if you're making the models, so cutting a bit of it doesn't hurt the product. It's the product you want, but if you just want to scalp it, it's going to be hard to ask ridiculous prices when the merchandise has already been tampered with. And I agree with that. That basically, if you're gonna buy it, if they popped a couple of the freaking, pieces on there, or they just take them all the pieces out on there and sold it to you that way, that's okay. Long as they're doing it in front of you. Because there are probably some stores that might try this and have a used one already that got returned, and then so it's, hey, look, this is brand new. A store in the, please excuse my translation, Yobobashi camera chain has something of a similar idea when it came to protecting their sword and shielding rain expansion packs, and they also shared this on Twitter. Notice, regarding the box purchases of the Pokemon game cards, In order to allow as many customers as possible to make the purchase, we're implementing countermeasures against resellers. If you're purchasing a box of cars, the shrink wrap will be removed before you are given your purchase. It's good. When you take to the perspective that, if you're removing the shrink wrap and stuff like that. Shrink wrap, I don't think that's going to help much. You can buy shrink wrap cheap. Shrink wrap is out there. You can buy it by the roll, and a good hair dryer will make it brand new again, unless the Pokemon cards have what they call the special seals. Some companies produce the shrink wrap and have them stamped. So if it's stamped, okay, then that negates everything to the nature. It's like negating the warranty if the little sticker is off the screw piece when you unscrew it on there and you try to return it or try to get it repaired, and it'll be out of warranty. But see, also I got to put a blame on some of the retailers on this, especially the big box places, especially here. Take it from someone who has been in retail for quite some time on the side while I was doing production. You got to make sure you pay your rent right. You can't be in production all day, all night. You had to do 2 jobs. In my case, while I was in retail, one thing that was always brought up in training and being a rule of thumb is that pretty much all these companies, the big ones, have rules that say, one, they could limit the amount of product to a customer. Also, we are not allowed to sell to resellers. Now, you may ask yourself, well, how can you tell in a retail point of view? Now, I worked in clothing in one of my jobs. And basically what happened was someone would come in on a sale where there was something that went, a top that went really cheap, and they would buy 4 of every size. That should tell you, and if it was in multiple colors, if it was like 10 colors, they would buy 4 of each size in every color. That tells you it's a retailer. But see, the retailers, have these rules, and some of them are done by the state regulators also too, because basically there are some rules depending on where you live, state to state, on there that basically doesn't allow it. I don't know about now. I have to look them up. I'm not a lawyer as far as that point of view, as far as the state regulations, but you have to understand that these companies will, even though they have their rule into place, they'll allow the sale because they're making money. If they happen to be short that week, hey, look, they let them have it. And that's what my boss always told us. They say, hey, listen, I was told not to. And they said, don't worry about it. And these people come in with, some of them came with sales tax ID. In other words, they would get the sales tax neglected. And that basically, you're in a retail environment, and you're giving people, tax free on the item, and that's taking away money from the state, from state municipalities. I mean, now these days, with clothing, they have a certain price point and stuff like that. But back when I was doing it, we never had these things. The only time they would do it, it was during back to school when I was doing it. The only time of the year. The rest of the year, they didn't do it. And when you hear the situations in places that are struggling to keep their infrastructure up and going and running, and they're trying to pay for everything on there, and they're not getting the money that they need from the federal government and from actual taxpayers and stuff like that, sales tax helps. It helps. I mean, hey, listen, Orlando, Florida. Why do you think Orlando, Florida does very well? Because all the state tax they get from Disney and Universal. I mean, all these companies they pay a high tax. You don't pay a state tax at the end of the year in Florida. Remember that. Most of the the tourism pays for that, and I'm wondering why New York we don't get that, because we get a lot of tourists here, and that maybe that's a question that's got to be brought up during election time. But getting back to the collectibles and stuff like that, I mean, it's gotten ridiculous, especially with the Pokemon stuff. They're going in and just buying up stuff, and you hear the people online that are actual collectors, people that have been collecting for a long time, and they say, "Well, you're too old. It's not meant for you. It's meant for kids." I said, "I was a kid when I got them."
Yo, I don't think I have enough time to address this, but I've been seeing a lot of Pokemon shit going on, so I'm going to try and get this in as much as I can. I was a very serious Yu-Gi-Oh player. I know it sounds dorky to some of you, but just take it for what it is. Lots of money involved, lots of games, lots of time, lots of money. Let's focus on the money, okay? And scams everywhere. Every trading card community has these motherfuckers, and it's driving me nuts to see this happen on Pokemon. There are these dudes that will sit at tournaments, sit at games with other kids, young kids, and when their parents leave, they will take advantage of your kid, open up their binder, find their best, most expensive, valuable cards, and trade them whatever the kid thinks looks cool, and then take that card and make mad profit on it.
And I continue to like them afterwards. See, that's the difference on there. When you're a real true fan, you stay a fan for a long time, even though it might be something that's from your childhood. I grew up with a lot of the anime, with a lot of the animation, Saturday morning cartoons, science fiction. People used to make fun of me of my Doctor Who, that I was a fan of Doctor Who, a fan of Star Trek, And then now these days, these are the same people that are destroying these fandoms. They're bullying these fandoms to basically destroy the product that we love the best. I mean, you see what has happened, and we had a video out with the CBS fan film situation with Star Trek, and that's the same as always. Is that you got people out there that are making product better than CBS and Paramount, so they want to put them out of business. All these retailers, they really have to stay within the pattern. You got to satisfy every one of your customers. If you don't have enough, limit them. Keep them at a customer service counter or something like that. Because someone comes for it, you give them only one. That's it. And they say, "I'm sorry, only one." And if you see a bunch of people hanging around, have security check up on them, find out what's going on, especially if they're buy the collectibles. We've seen situations like this where you have 6 guys waiting and one guy's at the counter, and he's had them order it, and he's picking up all of them. Ridiculous. So we reached this part of the video. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share. Be sure to check out our new merch shop at shopcutocast.com. The listing is below there. Some great stuff that we've put out. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.
So I just had the honor to run into the first ever Pokemon reseller that I've actually had a little bit of a conversation with. He just wanted to inform me that he has this Walmart on lockdown. I was like, oh, cool. And then he went on to tell me that he sits here every Thursday because he knows they restock on Thursdays all day, so he could wait for this restock so he could buy everything to resell it. I was like, oh, cool. But in my head, I'm thinking, dude, with all that time that you're spending waiting at Walmart for them to restock like 6 Pokemon cards that you're going to buy for $50 and resell for $75, after seller fees and packaging and shipping, you could just get a job and you would probably make more money in less time. And you don't have to ruin everybody's hobbies. Like, imagine that.
Brilliant! Thank you! Thank you!